start saving for that retirement now.
Yep.
You'll be glad you did someday.
You will. You know, it's like you can think, oh, I got enough money to make it with my pension and what, blah, blah, blah. But then when it all of a sudden happens and you're right down to Social Security only, it's frightening.
Yeah.
You get no more money.
Yeah, look at all the Enron employees and stuff. Thought they had it made, and suddenly, you know, unless it's yours, you can't count on it. Just remember that.
That's right.
All righty. Well, let's go from Wall Street to a place that's not quite as prosperous, where the pavement ends and the dirt begins. The home of the largest continuous burning tire fire anywhere in the United States. Donald Trump's going to build a wall around this town and keep everyone in. It's Silver Springs, Nevada. We have Aaron. Hey, Aaron.
What's up?
And we are eagerly awaiting this wall that he's going to build because we all need fencing supplies here in our yards.
There you go.
You know what? Hey, come on, Don. Where are you? What a chain of events in property preservation, folks. This story about CWIS, as I touched on the other day, with C-level employees jumping ship and running to speak with lawyers and stuff. A couple of other companies are in the mix here. NFS, a company called NFS, this gal recruiting for them, Michelle Nicholas, she worked with C's. C's, of course, defrauded labor out of over $1 million.
C's, S-E-E?
SEAS is what it was called, Southeast Asset Services.
Okay.
That's the acronym for that company. But she's right out there recruiting people for another company, and of course CWIS. And now every company I'm getting ready to mention here, this guy Mickey Dale Snow with the teenage prostitution ring is right in the middle of this. CWIS down in Florida, up in Colorado, DEA Home Inspection. They're involved in this, and they happen to be recruiting right here in Nevada. I contacted our local Secretary of State, the Attorney General. They're not licensed to conduct business in Nevada, but yet they're recruiting people here in Nevada. So we talked to them. And, of course, PK Management, who ties into all these people, it's very interesting to see what is going to happen there. Let's hope, for labor's sake, it turns out good. It's getting crazy. There'll be more over that. Check foreclosurepd.org, folks. He's got a bunch of information over there, a lot more than I have right now. But we are working on some interviews with people on that. Yesterday, I don't know if anybody has checked the website out yet this morning. Dr. Jane Goodall was, of course, one of the speakers yesterday, and Cory Booker. And you know, Dennis, they kind of both had the same message that you and I have been saying for quite some time about this GMO stuff.
Yeah, what would that be?
Power. Consumer power. Consumer power. You want to get these guys, don't buy their products. I found something very disturbing out about Jimmy Dean sausage.
What? Oh, no.
Oh, hey. I will say this right now. My infamous Warm Your Bones biscuits and gravy will no longer contain Jimmy Dean sausage. One of their people are on the board of directors at Monsanto. That is how deep this company is in our food supply. But yesterday, Dr. Jane said something that really kind of touched home. There seems to be, and she was talking about human beings. The clip of this soundbite is on the website in the article, folks. Go check it out. But Dr. Jane Goodall said, you know, talking about our intelligence and how we feel we have placed ourselves in a superior place on the planet and in the hierarchy of life here, that there seems to be a serious disconnect with the clever brain and the heart for compassion for fellow human beings. And that's saying volumes about what's going on in this GMO trend here. It is a corporate issue. It's money issues. And if you understand business, you understand those issues. But when you go to the grocery store to buy the food, you don't. And none of us really do. And that, she was saying, consumer power. Don't buy these products. Get knowledge. And what Cory Booker was saying was he feels the American people really are, they're not stupid. They know better. They're just not being given the right information. And he really beat that drum about truth in advertising, truth, some transparency in what you're selling. And all I can say is you need to look look at what was going on there. Today's theme is more on nutrition. A couple of leading global nutritionists, Dr. David Kantz will be speaking, and Michael Clapper. They're both experts on nutrition and how different foods will affect the body and your metabolisms. The third speaker today at 10 a.m., Dr. Marion Nestle, like Nestle's Quick. She's going to talk about big soda, food policies, and something that she has unraveled in food policy and how they're created. It has nothing to do with science or public interest, so you're going to want to see that. She's also going to expose some of the food industry secrets. But this gal's kind of taken on big soda. When you think big soda, you need to think about Coca-Cola, Monsanto, Saccharin, 1901, ladies and gentlemen. That's how long they've been in our food supply with poison. Something to think about when you go to the grocery store again. Consumer power.
Well, I have some news for you today, Aaron, about the front that we've been talking about. Today, the NFL has warned players that meat produced in China and Mexico may be contaminated with clenbuterol, a banned steroid. In a memo sent out by the league office, the NFL warned players that consuming meat while visiting or eating meat from those countries may result in a positive test for clenbuterol, a banned substance. They also reminded
the one that had in Germany back in the Olympics.
Well, I don't think it could be the same steroid, but this is now being used to raise meat in different countries. They've reminded players.
Too.
Well, it's in everything right now, because the players are responsible for anything in their body, and it can result, and it will result in test positive for clenbuterol. So if you're tested positive, you're suspended.
If I'm not mistaken, there's a list getting ready to come out in baseball, and some of these guys are going to catch an 80-day deal on that, an 80-game suspension because of this issue right here. Again, know what you're eating, know where, and that is a big, big thing. We don't know what any of these people, and I'm sorry, if Barack Obama or the NSA is listening, Barack Obama, you're a liar. You told us you would get us an origin of country food labeling and what was in it. You promised us that to get elected in 2007, and you've never followed through with it. To me, I'm sorry. I've lost all respect for that man because of that issue right there. He promised us. That was part of his talking point to get up on the national stage and become elected to be our leader. He's not led us. He's wandered us down a strange path that nobody wants to be on.
Well, I think it's sad, too, that unconsciously your livelihood could be put at risk. I mean, there's players right now that are being called up that come up from the Mexican League, that from Central American League, places like that.
Yeah.
They eat meat that's, and you don't have to be a professional athlete. A lot of beef that's sold through the McDonald's chains are raised in Argentina.
Oh, I'm getting ready to blast McDonald's.
But they have ranches. It's wholly owned subsidiaries of McDonald's, and that beef comes right out of Argentina, and it is chock full of growth hormones.
Here you go. Remember a while back we gave kudos to McDonald's for saying, no, we're not going to use GMO potatoes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What difference does it make? Everything else on their menu has GMO products in it. Everything else on their menu, ladies and gentlemen, has GMO ingredients in the product. So you're eating GMO. The person who is president of the board of directors for Monsanto, guess what? McDonald's USA.
Yeah. He's on the McDonald's board, too?
She.
Yeah.
Her name is Janice. I'm getting ready to publish an article on that overnight here on the board of directors and how they tie into Procter & Gamble, Sara Lee, McDonald's. And remember, Procter & Gamble has all the cotton products now that they're finding this glyphosate. The feminine hygiene products was an issue. Guess where else it is, ladies and gentlemen? In the diapers you're putting on the infants. Mm-hmm. Same cotton. They're finding glyphosate.
Is that responsible for toxic shock?
You know, glyphosate's a poison. It's a metal cleaner, and our bodies have to have certain trace metal elements in them to function properly. Magnesium, potassium is another one. Iron. I mean, let's think about it. We're all in that age when we were kids. The people that are our age now were always doing Geritol commercials because they had iron poor blood.
Yeah.
Those minerals have to be in our food. That stuff comes out of the food, out of the dirt, out of the ground we eat, and glyphosate takes it completely away. And so it is becoming, it's not, and this just isn't America. It's a worldwide issue, but when you get into Europe, and this was in the conversations yesterday, when you get into Europe, Europe says, hey, no, get that stuff out of here. We're not doing that. And these are countries that have been around a lot longer than the United States has been written about, and farming. That's how they make a living. But one of the big things, go back to local. Senator Booker said that.
Wait. Don't say that and let it pass. Europe imports wild horses and meat that's butchered in Canada and in Mexico. It's a delicacy in France and several other countries, including Germany. And a lot of that meat is chock full of bute. I mean, they're importing that stuff. It's considered a delicacy right now. And I understand that our military troops and during World War I, and, you know, horses have been considered a food source in some areas. I understand that. But they're taking the horses that are that we're trying to sterilize, that we're allowing out on the range. They're rounding up 1,000 of them right now in the Northwest, up in the Washington area. Most of those horses are going to go to slaughter in Canada and be shipped directly to Europe, where horse meat right now is a delicacy. And filet of fold, a baby horse, is considered like veal. It's expensive meat.
Animal treatment, and how that was an issue yesterday too in some of the conversation, how they cage the animal and how it really is abused when you put it in perspective. They've passed all kinds of laws about doing that with dogs, yet they allow it to be done with our food. Yeah. And it's a weird thing.
A horse doesn't sleep in your bed.
No. With Europe, though, they've specifically gone, I mean, I don't know about the meat thing over there. I haven't talked to anybody or you know, interacted with anybody over there on that issue. I just know that when it comes to the agri-chemical issue of GMO products coming into that country, they say no, and they will not allow them to be produced in the countries. I mean, in Germany is one of them, and that's very ironic because Bayer is one of the big six ag companies, and Bayer, like Bayer aspirin, ladies and gentlemen, that is part of that conglomerate thing going on with Monsanto. They have created stuff over there too. They have a systemic chemical that you can treat elm trees with. Now, when you're treating an elm tree, it's not so bad because there's not a pollen issue. The bees aren't really out early enough in the spring to catch anything coming out of there. But when you use it in other plants, and it's widespread, it's like the Bt toxin corn. The insect eats it, they die. And that's what happens. And these poisons, when they start putting the poisons in the plant for the plant to generate, it doesn't know if it's a worm, it doesn't know if it's a bee. And the bees are critical to our food supply and our survival. And if you think not, if you have any respect for Albert Einstein, he did a mathematical equation on it. If they go, we're done within 10 years.
Well,
and it could be. You never know, huh?
Well, I think
That's kind of fatal.
Yeah, it is,
Yeah.
and I think in Europe and places like that, they're a bit confused. You know, they may be saying the right thing and trying to do the right thing, but there's a million McDonald's franchises in Europe, Eastern Europe, and China now. The Chinese beef is just horribly...
Anything from China, I wouldn't want to eat anything.
It's got growth hormones. I mean, and that's going all over the world. So, you know, I don't like to hear, oh, France is doing it right. When they're buying slaughtered wild horses and selling it in their fine restaurants, and they're opening a new McDonald's probably every other day in France somewhere. I mean, that same beef is either coming from the Argentinian ranches or maybe a China franchise that McDonald's has that they sell the beef in Europe. I don't know, but you know, it's a closed system for McDonald's.
You know, and again, these countries that you're mentioning, Dennis, they have no FDA. They have no kind of regulation going on to where there's an agency that oversees, are you doing this way, are you doing it right? So they can do basically whatever they want.
Yeah, and they
and they are, and that's kind of that's the problem. They are, and because it's you can't depend on a company like that. They're going to go out and I don't know if anybody even comprehends the ripple effect $15 an hour is going to have.
That's a whole other subject. We should attack that.
Oh man!
Well, Aaron, how do we contact you out there? Holiday, we need to get moving.
You bet. 775-230-9915. We see that black cloud coming too. I'm hoping it spits all over us today. It's going to be a great day out there, folks. HolidayLLC.com. Let's have a great time. Let's all be safe out there.
Right on.
All righty, that's Aaron out in Silver Springs, Nevada. Give him a call. Brought up some good stuff today, and very timely. You know, with the NFL issuing warnings to their players. I mean, it's a very timely topic, and he's obviously very passionate about it. Well, let's take a quick break, Jim.
Yep.
Let's regroup here a bit. But
No calls. We got birthdays, and I got something from a new correspondent.
all right,
And we'll go from there.
we'll be right back.